All right, welcome back to Bayou Time, and as promised, the parish president was on the other night, and he talked about the contentious, or when Danny Babin was on, I called it chippy, meeting that the council had last week, and it was chippy, and it was contentious. And once again, I have Councilman Gerald Michel, who's joining me on this particular one. We're doing everybody one-on-one. I don't believe in all that group stuff. If you got something to say, come up here, sit on the desk, and we're gonna let you say it. Now, I can go back to the days of, like I said before, Alan Bonvillain, Donald Landry, and Bobby Bacheron and all that. We had some pretty chippy meetings back then too. So in my eyes, it's politics, business as usual, but it seems to be getting a little personal, and we want to talk about it. So, Mr. Michel, first of all, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and I've always told everybody, if you want to come on, just pick up the phone and call us. We'll get you on. So that's what we do. I think you would agree, and let's start off the conversation by just being frank with everybody. This council is split.
Oh, there's no question. No question. It's split. It's split 4-4 to 1. And the one is Darren. Darren is the swing vote. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, you made the comment just a moment ago and also previously that it was personal. But it didn't become personal at the meeting, and it didn't become personal at the vote. It became personal personal to me because I was lied to. And I don't take kindly to that. You know, that's the big problem that I have is I was lied to. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't know, do you want me to go into?
Well, and we'll get, because
okay,
I want to play
sure.
some of the meat, but I guess, so it is personal. It got to be personal.
Well, it was personal before,
yeah.
because you know, the lie didn't begin at the meeting. I knew he was going to vote that way.
Okay. So let me do this, so that people will understand that we've had split councils before, many, since I've covered them in '85, but Darren Guidry's become the swing vote in the last two, when you think about it.
Absolutely.
For two different sides.
Absolutely.
Which is ironic to say, but so that puts him in the catbird seat. He's been able to swing two elections. He's been the swing vote.
Absolutely. That is correct. If you want to be in that cat seat in that manner, then he's got the sweet spot.
Yeah. Let's do this. Okay, so Mr. Michel, Steve Trosclair nominates Darren Guidry. Dirk Guidry nominates John Amedee. And so let's roll in that segment if we could.
Election of the 2022 Council Chair, Mr. Steve Trosclair.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Darren Guidry.
Any other nominations? Mr. Dirk Guidry.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Mr. John Amedee.
Okay, we have two nominations. Any more nominations? We have a motion to close nominations. Mr. Steve Trosclair, seconded by Mr. John Amedee. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
All right, so that seems docile enough or whatever, but when you look at, just to let the public know, people are nominating who they want on their side. Politics. I mean, there's no big issue there.
Right.
But let me ask you this on a personal note. Was your first choice John Amedee, or was your first choice Danny Babin?
Oh, I mean, my choice was Danny Babin, but John Amedee would have done just as good a job as Danny. What my first choice is to have a council who's independent of administration. That's the problem that we have. That's why, as Parish President Dove said, I'm working behind the scenes. There's nothing personal, there's nothing that I have to gain from it, except to have a council that's independent of the control of the parish president that he exhibits every time we're in session.
So let me ask you, if your first choice is Councilman, and I'm only going by past meetings, I've watched
Sure.
this process for years. If your first choice is Danny Babin, you never nominated him. There had to be some talk prior.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, once we knew that Darren was going to go back on his word and accept his nomination, then we knew that we needed to do something else. We knew that they committed to not vote for Danny. So we said, you know, the only chance we have, maybe they didn't commit to not vote for John, because John is pretty universally liked and respected on the council.
Mm-hmm. So it was a situation where you knew personally, I'm not talking for any other council
Sure.
person, this is me and Gerald Michel right now. You knew Danny wouldn't get the votes, but you thought maybe John could get the votes.
That's correct.
Okay.
I thought that there was a chance of that happening. Not much of a chance, but a chance nonetheless.
But you had to know when Darren Guidry was nominated by Steve Trosclair that, Darren's going to vote for Darren.
Well,
Or did you think he may go the other way?
I told him before this vote, interesting you should ask that question, because I told him the day before this vote, I said, Darren, you have an opportunity, whether you like it or not. You have an opportunity. Your vote is going to show people your moral character. If you vote against yourself because you want to keep your word, then you are going to be a hero. And if you vote for yourself because your word doesn't matter anymore because you want to benefit yourself, then that's going to be apparent as well. And that's the reason for my discussion afterwards, is to make sure it was apparent.
In fairness to Mr. Guidry, I don't know about moral character, but character in general.
Well, I think if somebody lies, it's a moral character. Yeah. It's a moral. I mean, it is a moral issue.
Because I've seen votes on councils and legislation switch all the time. But did he not tell you? Here's the key to me: did he not tell you, or did he hide it from the fact that he was going to vote for Darren Guidry?
After I pressed him on it, because he didn't want to tell me. But he said, are you asking me, am I voting for Danny Babin? And I said, yes, that's exactly what I'm asking you. And his answer was, I'm certainly not voting for anyone else.
All right, hold that thought, Mr. Michel. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we continue our discussion with Gerald Michel, Councilman of Terrebonne Parish.
The new year is here, and A.J. Doman Chevrolet is happy to announce we are South Louisiana's newest business elite, medium duty, and commercial dealer. We are now taking orders for all business and fleet customers. Looking for a car or truck and can't find what you're looking for? Come see us. We have over 150 used cars in stock, and new cars arriving daily.
And remember, no credit, bad credit, foreclosure, we can help.
A.J. Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge in Berwick.
All right, welcome back as we continue to have a discussion with Gerald Michel, Councilman in Terrebonne Parish, about the council meeting where they had elected officers for chair and vice chair. It became pretty contentious. The parish president spoke out. Councilman wanted to speak out. There's a split council, no doubt about it. We continued that discussion with Mr. Michel.
One of my most regretful moments on the council is having changed my mind after committing to someone, okay? But it wasn't a compromise. This was a compromise. So there was a quid pro quo. It was nothing that benefited us personally, okay? Mm-hmm. But we got together a year ago, and we wanted Darren to support Danny. And Darren said, why don't y'all support me this year, and I'll support Danny next year. So he took the quid, and he failed on the pro quo, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's the problem, is that he took the advantage of the deal, but did not give his commitment side of the deal. And that's where it becomes a moral issue, and that's where it becomes a lie. People can change their mind, and we all do. We learn new information, we change our mind, okay? But he took his deal and dismissed the others. It'd be like a district attorney making a deal with a client, with a defendant. Give me information, we'll lighten your load. They give them the information, they use the information, and they say, too bad, you're still going to...
But let me ask you on a procedural thing. Because like I said, I've seen a lot of council meetings.
Sure.
After the nomination, when Darren Guidry was nominated, John Amity was nominated, why didn't you come on at that point and give the morale speech about, okay, Darren, do the right thing here? You waited.
No, I did wait, and that's a good question, because I had one prepared for that moment. I did have one prepared. But, you know, we do all of this stuff off the cuff. And I really felt like at that point, because Darren refused to take calls of several council people earlier that day. I didn't try to call him, so I don't know if he refused to take mine or not. But he refused to take some people's calls. So it was a done deal, and I think that's why. I said, you know, this is not going to make any difference. Because really, I wanted to say to him exactly what I just said. You have an opportunity to...
And let's roll in the actual vote so the people that are just seeing this for the first time can see it. Let's roll that in if we could.
Mr. Keith, would you call roll call?
Mr. Amade,
Amade.
Ms. Domain,
Mr. Guidry.
Mr. Darren Guidry,
Guidry.
Mr. Babin,
Mr. Amade.
Mr. Dirk Guidry,
Mr. Armitage.
Mr. Trosclair,
Darren Guidry.
Mr. Navy,
Guidry.
Mr. Harding,
Darren Guidry.
Mr. Michel.
Mr. Armitage.
All right, so there you heard the vote. I'm going to recap the vote. For Darren Guidry, Jessica Domingue, Steve Trosclair, John Navy, Carly Harding, Darren Guidry. For John Amade, Danny Babin, Dirk Guidry, Gerald Michel, and John Amade. So I'm hearing you about Darren voting for himself. It was more of a, I don't like to use the word deal, but y'all had an agreement, or, I mean, it sounded like you said deal, but
It was
what
a compromise. It was a
Okay.
compromise.
Did y'all actually sit in a room and say, okay,
3 of us did. 4 of us did, actually. And we looked at each other's eyes and we shook hands on it. and that's the part that kills me is that he took the deal, but he didn't give to the deal after he promised that he would.
so, and I guess the point I look at as a reporter, I'm looking at it going, well, and I'm picking the sides now because there's 2 distinct sides. This council is split.
Absolutely.
And those votes are solid on one side and they are solid on the other. It worked for y'all last time. It did work for y'all this time. So
But let me tell you what.
it's ebb and flow.
But let me tell you what only happened this time, okay? Because, I obviously disagree with Jessica's vote. I obviously disagree with Steve's and with the other 2. I disagree with all of them who voted for Darren, okay? But none of them lied to me. Darren lied to me. And he didn't only lie to me. The 3 other council members on our side, if you will, okay, didn't trust him. And I told them, I said, guys, I don't agree with Darren most of the time. I said, but the man has never lied to me. And that's the part. I put, these guys are not going to hold it against me, but I put my neck on the line saying, you can trust him, I'm telling you. I said, we don't have to agree with him, but we can trust him. And he proved me so wrong.
And I heard you during the meeting, and I wanted to ask you this because it sort of rang with me. You basically told him that if you're going to do this kind of thing and just vote for yourself to become chairman for a second time, and you used a good bit of sarcasm in your delivery because you congratulated him, but then you really got to your point after that. But you said, so former parish presidents can sort of lead you along the way. Were you alluding to Mr. Dove there?
Absolutely. And God help us if Mr. Guidry would get elected as parish president. And that's what a lot of this is about. It's about a carrot being dangled in front of him that will never come to fruition. And it's unfortunate because he thinks he's got the parish president's support. He may end up getting it, okay, but I don't know if that would be a blessing or a curse. But he may end up getting it, but I just don't see that happening. I see the parish president using Darren Guidry, and it's working like a charm. Because if you notice, when I was speaking, at the beginning, our newly elected chairman did not shut off my mic because he knew, number 1, I'm a councilman, I have a right to speak. Number 2 is I was on the agenda item that we were on. So I wasn't off in the middle of somewhere. Now, he didn't like what I was saying, of course, okay? He didn't shut my mic off until the parish president yelled, point of order, turn off his mic. I said, the parish president can't claim a point of order. He's not a part of the council. But that gave Darren the confidence he needed to shut my mic off.
All right, I want to continue this conversation, but hold that thought. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with Gerald Michel.
Get $2,000 bonus cash when you order a new F-150 at Terrebonne Ford. Why search all over for the truck you kinda like when you could design the new F-150 you really want? You choose the color, trim, and options you want and get $2,000 order bonus cash. Plus, your new F-150 will get priority in the building process. And get $2,000 order bonus cash. Come see us at Terrebonne Ford in Houma.
right, welcome back to Bayou Time. In a sense of fairness, we want to be fair with all the council, giving everybody a chance to talk about that contentious council meeting of a few days ago. We continue our talk with Councilman Gerald Michel here in Terrebonne Parish. Let me ask you this, because I'm trying to get back to politics in general.
I hate politics.
Yeah,
Did
I know,
mention
but
that?
I hear you loud and clear, but I can understand you making a comment like Mr. Dove is going to pick up the phone and talk to Darren Guidry. I get that, but in all fairness, haven't y'all stayed in communication with the former parish president, Michel Claude? You and him are tight. Y'all talk a lot. It's no secret that y'all talked a lot about agendas and all. Isn't that common?
But, you know, I have not spoken a lot to Michel Claude. We do speak. You know, I consider him a friend, but it's not somebody that I... But
I'm not casting aspersions on Michel.
I understand.
I'm just saying I think it's typical politics.
And I don't have a problem with contacting Michel twice or three times a week. Of course, I think he'd get sick of hearing from me. But the fact is that doesn't happen. I don't speak to him nearly as often as some others may.
I give you that avenue to talk about that, but I'm just trying to differentiate that. I think if you took all 9 council people, they all have a mentor.
Sure.
That they're going to call up and they're going to say, I hope they do, because I hope they're not all just winging these decisions that come up. And I've worked with so many of them since Bobby Lyons. I've interviewed so many parish presidents, and they all had their good points. They all had their bad points. That's life.
That's correct.
But as we look at all this, at what point did you prepare? It was a speech. I guess
absolutely.
What time did you prepare it? You had to be frustrated when you were writing it. When was it?
It was that morning. I wrote it that morning.
And what made you finally say, okay, I don't think it's going our way?
Well, when Darren refused to take calls from the councilman who wanted him to vote for Danny.
Yeah. And let me ask you this, and I don't know if I've talked with other people about this over the years, but why is it so important to control the council? Not just you. I'm talking about the other side too. Why is it so important to control the council? Is it more for agenda purposes, or you get to pick heads of departments, you get to pick parish attorneys, you get to pick all kind of things? Is that the driving force?
Well, you know, first of all, it's not important to me, and I made that decision years ago. Okay, the person that is most important to is the parish president. In this particular case, I don't think that was the case in past years, although I can't say for certain. But
well, I can tell you it was. Every parish president, they knew their votes before they went in.
And you know, and my thought is, why not just let the council be the council? Let them decide. Why not embrace the system of checks and balances that we have? Why do we have to make this adversarial? And you know, people are accusing me of disrupting unity. Well, you know, truth has to supersede unity every time.
Can y'all pull this together? Well, you took a big sigh right there.
No, I honestly, I don't think so. You know,
so
we came closer, but if you look at last year, and let me tell you something, I've never voted yes for something because Gordy wanted me to vote for it, and I've never voted no for something because Gordy wanted me to vote for it, okay? Mm-hmm. And I vote for things based upon what I feel is best for the parish, and that's it. It's as simple as that. You know, I voted for things that people were critical of me about because they said, well, that's Gordy's friend. I said, well, it doesn't matter. He brought the best deal to the table. We have to give it to him. It's best for the parish. Mm-hmm. And so I never make a decision. You know, it's no big surprise that Gordy and I have very little respect for each other. Okay, mm-hmm. but I don't.
That's quite obvious.
Yeah, but I don't vote because based on that. Somebody once asked me in a deposition if Gordy bullied me. I said, no, he doesn't bully me. He has no control over me. So you can't bully someone you have no control over. And I said, now he tries to intimidate, but it doesn't work.
But I'll be honest, looking at y'all 2 A personalities. Most people who get elected are A personalities. So when you get A personalities together, you're going to have some contention from time to time. But I remember the old council days when they would get up there and almost roll their sleeves up and invite people outside And then after the meeting, and I was in my 20s back then, we'd roll out, and occasionally me and the crew would go out and get a bite to eat, and we see the same ones that were arguing sitting there having a beer and eating a steak. And we're going, whoa.
And, you know,
Isn't that the way it ought to be?
well, maybe it is, but I have a hard time. I have a hard time because I'm not a politician. You know, I'm a public servant. I believe that, and I stand by that forever. Okay, but I have a hard time when somebody is going to do something that I think is not right, genuinely not right. I want to continue to be who I am, and I don't want to go to that level. But it forces me to take time out of my life. And look, you're a great guy. I'm glad to be here with you. But I'm kind of forced to be here to defend myself, and I shouldn't have to defend myself from a parish president.
Well, understand. I wanted to make sure you had ample time, and I appreciate you joining us. And hopefully, we can all find a way to move the parish forward.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gerald. Appreciate you being here. All right, we'll take a break. A lot more once again. We do have Darren Guidry and Jessica Domingue, chair and co-chair, and vice chair, coming on Monday. And you heard Mr. Babin during the telecast wanting to know why we haven't done that. We've always offered. And so Darren's going to take me up on it. But once again, it's not our job to go chase everybody down and get you over here. Call us up. We work into the schedule, and we'll put you on whenever you want to come on. So we'll take a break. We'll be back.